Now, welcome to another weekend ramble, where this time, what are we talking about?
I know we've talked a lot about how Andor recontextualizes Rogue One, right?
Certainly.
I want to talk about some recent comments from Tony Gilroy as well as Kleya actress Elizabeth Dulau about who was really the shadow agent in charge of the rebellion. They pointed at the fact that it was not Luthen, as we all had come to believe, but it was really Kleya who was the dominant force, which means how does this recontextualize Andor Season 1 to know that Luthen wasn't exactly the one in charge?
Well, he was the one in charge, but I don't know that he was the driving factor as much as it was Kleya. I feel like if you go back to the conversation on Naboo, it's almost like Luthen wanted out, and I'm talking about in the past, a
Yes,
flashback.
the flashback.
Spoilers if you haven't seen it all, don't be watching this video quite yet. But I think in that flashback to Naboo, you get the sense that he wants to fight, but he also has this
He's
other
scared.
choice. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think they're at the point, and I'm assuming just based off the little we know here, that they've been doing their scam thing for a while now. Not necessarily a scam; they've just been finding old antiquities and selling them and making money. And it feels like here we are on Naboo. They're dressed nice. They're probably staying somewhere nice. They're gonna buy the shop soon, I'm guessing. I feel like he's at this point where he's like, you know what? I hate the Empire, but dang, we've made a nice little life here, and we could just do that. We don't have to fight the Empire. And she makes kind of the choice for him.
Because she has so much hate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she
Because he
can't
even
get over
tells
the
her
hate.
to bottle it.
Yeah.
Because she can't get over what was done. But what's interesting is, remember in the first flashback, the oldest one we saw, he's in there, make it stop, make it stop. He wanted out.
Yes, absolutely.
And in a way, this is putting him back in a similar situation where innocents are going to get hurt, and he's still doing something that's hurting people.
Yeah, he seemed
Just
to...
because I guess you could say the goal has changed. The goal is, I'm hurting people for the sake of good. He's still hurting people, innocent people as well.
Yeah, he has to burn his decency. He has to use the tools of his enemy against. He has to become that person almost that he hated in that moment back in the past.
When he was sitting there rocking back and forth, make it
Makes
stop,
that-
make
yeah.
it stop.
But it is kind of interesting how what set him down that path. Like, here I am fighting the Empire, or fighting for the Empire, excuse me, and I can't take the atrocities we're doing, but that becomes the person he is.
Exactly. Like I said, Tony Gilroy actually said in a recent interview, following up, of course, on Andor Season 2's conclusion, that Kleya is the dominant one pushing for the rebellion. She is the one in the background pushing to keep things going, constantly pushing Luthen when he's getting cold feet. Luthen, you're cracking. Luthen, you're cracking. She's the one who keeps pushing him. Keep it together. We gotta keep doing this. She's holding him together. He's the face of the secret rebellion.
Yeah.
And now I understand more why he was sacrificing himself for her. Not only because he cares for her maybe as a daughter, even though they weren't father-daughter. He kind of adopted her. He's protecting her. He maybe is also trying to make up for what he did
I think so. Yeah, I
by
think he feels
keeping
guilty.
her alive.
Yeah, because we don't know how much he partook in any of these atrocities. This may be the one that we see in the flashback, may be the one that breaks the straw that breaks the camel's back, and he may have been out there mowing down civilians in the past for the Empire. We don't know. So we don't know how much guilt he has over that. I mean,
I'm hoping we find out.
yeah, he's a sergeant. He's probably, like a squad leader, obviously, as a sergeant. So feels like he's worked his way up the ranks. Like he's done this before, so probably does have a lot of guilt over what he's done. And again, that's the breaking point in the ship. And then he sees Kleya, and it's kind of like oh, I can save this one.
Like this is going to redeem me. This is my redemption. I can save one person.
Yeah. Though at the same time, when you see them in the flashbacks, he's like, if you want to go down there, I'm just going to leave you here. It's a strange...
It really is.
It's a strange relationship. It's a strange
It's almost
mindset out of
because
him.
he was willing to leave that hate behind, but she couldn't.
Yes, I think he was. I think it changes the character a lot. That episode, that flashback makes you question a lot about who you thought he really was. Because you really thought he was just on board entirely.
Especially season one. Season one, we thought she's just the assistant. She's helping him. She has some sort of reason to be helping him. She hates the Empire too. We didn't understand that she's the one constantly pushing him to keep going.
Yeah, I remember at one point we were like doing like a theory video or talking about it, and we're like, I wonder what brings Kleya in. I wonder how like Luthen kind of convinced her to be so for the cause, or what happened to her when it was actually the other way around.
Right. Even when she had a conversation, I believe it was in season one with Vel, when she's like, well, what have you done for him?
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of gave
And she's
the
like,
impression...
I'm here for him every day.
Yeah.
I'm here every day for him. And they kept talking like he was the one. And he's not exactly the one, because she is the driving motivation. She is the one pushing. He's like a front for her in a way. It's very interesting.
That's a good point about that conversation, because it seems like they're kind of, in a strange sort of way, like competing to be the top dog for Luthen. Not in any kind of weird way, but you know what I'm saying, where they are realizing he is the one you have to kind of work for, and yet it now feels like Kleya is the one who's kind of like making him.
They're both trying to justify their value to him.
Yeah, it's kind of, I wonder if Gilroy had some changes, even though he said way back in the beginning he had because we saw the concept art, I'll try to find it for Luthen from the start, and he was going to be this thing, and they talked about what Luthen's backstory was from the beginning, and yet it doesn't, I don't know if it jives perfectly well. I'm not complaining. I always have to say that because everybody gets mad when I in any way critique Andor, but I don't know that it makes total perfect sense here.
At least it's not as bad as the George Lucas kiss where he changed his mind later. He's like, they're brother and sister now.
No, I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying I feel like we're missing a key component here of how you become the guy who is like, yeah, I can't stand the atrocities we're committing, to the guy who's like, yeah, I realize I have to commit atrocities to beat the guys committing atrocities. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it doesn't work.
It might have
just feels like Kleya is the key, though.
It was probably just something they couldn't fit in when they cut these seasons down.
I agree.
Which is a shame. I understand why they did it, and I do get it, because I want your best quality. I don't want you to get tired halfway through and not be able to finish at the same pace and candor that you have with this show. This show is absolutely excellent.
It's excellent. I'm
hoping we do get follow-up books, maybe some
I want backstory follow-up books that are based off what Tony Gilroy wanted to do. I don't need the future stuff after the fact. I want to know like how some of these characters got to where they were.
Well, I know they like to come out with like the visual dictionaries for these projects. The art books sometimes have explanations. We could even see more information come out in the Reign of the Empire trilogy. Yeah, there's 2 books to go, and they are moving closer and closer towards the time of the rebellion.
Yeah, I think we will, but I'm just very curious. Again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying I'm angry. It's
recontextualized in season 1
very much does.
To know that the character we see in the background, the one who thought, oh, she's doing the communications,
we didn't really
helps
think much
Luthen
of her.
run the shop. We didn't think much of her.
She wasn't a bad character.
We find out that she is Luthen's motivation driving him forward. Yeah. That everyone overlooks Kleya when Kleya is important.
It's kind of funny how that works, because we all, again, I thought she was a fine character. I thought she was a brilliant character too, because she's helping him in so many different ways. But we didn't, like you're saying, we kind of overlooked her.
Just like when you think about the wedding arc, where she planted a bug and Skuld and stuff when he didn't want to, because he was backing away from things. He was concerned. He was worried. She pushed for it, and what happened is she's the one who had to go and get it back. She's the one who forced Lonnie to stand there to give her cover. Yeah. Luthen didn't come and give her cover. Luthen could have.
Luthen could have gone to get it. He was also running distraction with Krennic.
In his own way.
Yeah, he was doing his part, yeah.
Right. Because she got done what needed to be done, because she's got that anger, that hatred fueling her. That's, and again, why it's so sad, the scene where she has to do what must be done when he's in the hospital, when he's on life support.
Yeah, I think my curiosity came because we heard I think it was in the Declassified, I think there's another interview with her as well, where she's talking about how it's partially hatred, it's partially love that is allowing her to do this.
Luthen is a part of that hate.
Yeah, and then she finally lets the hate go.
He told her to bank it.
Yes, she used it. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Don't
get me
wrong.
wrong.
Part of what I think allowed her to commit the act is to remember that she still has a grudge against him. And after she disconnects the light, I think that's when she can finally release the last of it, knowing she has done her part for the rebellion. They are full-fledged. She has gotten revenge against this man who she sees as the face of what happened to her people when she was young. This man who changed her entire life, who she had to keep pushing to do the things, that there was a nugget of hate that she banked, because he told her to bank her hatred. Yeah. She released the last of it. She cried, probably from this huge emotional release because of what she's done, because she realizes that after she released that hate, all she has left for him was the care, the love that she still had for him as her caregiver. Then she goes to Yavin and she looks like a lost soul because she gave the hate up.
She gave the hate up. She did the last.
She used it. And I think she was on the edge and had Vel not come and put her poncho on her raincoat, and sat her down, and they had a minute.
Redirected her.
Yeah, I think Kleya was going to be a lost soul at that point. And who knows, she might have wandered into the jungle, never to be seen again.
That's kind of what I thought she was going to do at first. I'm like, oh, don't do that. Don't make her, like, just go get eaten by one of the creatures we know are out there from the first arc.
Instead, she gets a better ending, more resolve, that the hatred that she's been holding, that banked hatred, she's let it go. And now she can fight for the cause in a more positive light at this point, if she so chooses.
Yeah, it makes sense that if you have to kill somebody that, again, you love, you would try to focus on the hate for them, to just do the act, and then you've done the act, and then that hate is gone, and then the love is left. Something along,
I feel like that's what they were portraying, and it was done beautifully.
You totally get a different impression from season 1 out of both of those characters, and then season 2, you're like, oh, that wasn't what I thought it was at all.
Now watching season 2 makes me want to go back and watch season 1 with all of this new information.
Yeah.
I think Elizabeth Delau was a surprise actress for me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I overlooked her a little bit in season 1, just like I think the Rebellion did, just like most of the characters kind of overlooked Kleya. But she was such a strong character in the second season here that I really appreciate her as an actress more.
Yeah, I think the issue comes in with the speech, the monologue from Luthen in season 1, episode 10, where you're like, something has happened to this guy that has made him so for the cause that nothing else matters to him anymore. He's willing to do anything. And I don't know that that's exactly how I feel about him anymore. It feels like he was more forced into it in a way. I guess what I didn't see is that if you go again to the Naboo episode, or flashback, I should say, not episode, it feels like Kleya is the hand that made him press the button.
She is.
When you didn't think he would have needed someone to press the button. And it turns out he did.
I think that was the defining moment between them.
Yes.
Are we going to continue what we're doing? Because now we're going a lot more extreme, apparently, than they had in the past.
Now we're going to start killing people and
or can
getting
you
attention.
let go of your hate, Kleya? Can we tone this down? Can we just live life?
Yes,
and
that's
she
the
decided
question.
For him, and that's why he was like, you know what, I'm worried about what I'm doing to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he knows his influence on her life is probably continuing to fuel her hatred.
Yes, he didn't try to stop her.
No.
Instead, he
gave her a choice. She made that choice for the both of them, and then he committed the act because he just knew he couldn't fully let her go down that road alone.
Yeah, fascinating stuff.
Very good, very well written. The emotional depth in these episodes and everything is fantastic.
And I think that's going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think about this complicated relationship. Give us your thoughts. We don't know everything, so we would love to hear your opinions and what you think is the deal between them. So take to the comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.